Hey YouTube, this is Trep, and we're going to be recording over a tournament gameplay. I played in this OU tournament. This was, what is it? Today's Thursday. This will go up on Friday, and this happened on Wednesday. So this was a game on Wednesday night. I played a couple games in a tournament, and I actually did decently well. I don't want to spoil anything, but I will be playing some tournaments going forward, and I will be uploading that. And just, you know, I won't necessarily win it all, but you know, maybe I might win it all, I might not. I'll definitely give myself the best advantage that I can, obviously, because it's a tournament, and it won't be just OU tournaments. It will be, you know, whatever. I don't really mind. I play all game types. I think all ladders are interesting. So without any further ado, we're gonna go right into the first round. It's a matchup against Wits 2020. So right here, first game, we're gonna start off normal speed. I saw his team and I thought, okay, he's going to definitely lead Diancie. I'm going to lead with my Keldeo and try and just get an early substitute, get some momentum going in my favor. And here, I am really surprised he stayed in Moonblast. Obviously, he just wants to get rid of my substitute, but I was like, he's 100% going to Rotom here, because that's like the easiest switch in the world. So that's why I went for a Secret Sword. I want to do the most damage possible, and he just stayed in. I could have killed the Diancie there, obviously, but then I switched into my Peckerhead, my Talonflame. There's not really a good switch in for Diancie. Actually, I'm slow this down. So I went into this. You know, if he Diamond Storms there, then that's all the credit in the world to him. But he went ahead for the Moonblast. He protected. See what I was gonna do? A U-turn. That's I'm surprised he didn't stay in, and because he would have probably just picked up another kill. Obviously, it depends on what I would have picked. And right now, I U-turn, and he obviously has Rocky Helmet, so that's going to come into big effect here in a moment. I went straight for the Secret Sword. I wasn't going to mess around with it. I figured he was just going to switch into Rotom anyways, and I guess he figured that I was going to go for a substitute. He wanted me behind a substitute, and I went straight for Secret Sword. So now he switches into his Rotom. Yes, that's what happens. And from here, I went for a Scald because I figured, okay, he'll probably switch into Latias, and I wanted to get the burn. That's the whole point. You know, just get a little bit of residual damage going on the Latias. He has a million counters to this Keldeo. I didn't know why he was ready to sack his Diancie turn, what was that, 2? And right here, I figured, okay, he's probably going to predict my switch. I just want to kind of scout what he wants to do. He can obviously Volt Switch. But, you know, Substitute's really safe in this situation, and he actually went for the Will-O-Wisp, so that puts me in a great situation. I can get off more damage, and now he has to Volt Switch out. Obviously, if he had Thunderbolt, it's better for him, but it's always Volt Switch. It's Volt Switch, Pain Split, Will-O-Wisp, Hydro Pump. You see it every time. And now he goes into Diancie, so now I'm in a really difficult situation. I have to pick something to take a hit here. And I'm like, alright, he's probably going for a Moonblast, and worst to worst, I think I was ready to sack my Excadrill if he made the right prediction. It's Moonblast or Diamond Storm. If he would have picked Diamond Storm, then obviously that destroys my Talonflame. But I went to Phil. If he would have picked Earth Power, that would have definitely got me good. And this is Choice Scarf, obviously. I went straight for the Earthquake. I knew he was going to protect, and I didn't want to risk anything. Diancie is such an issue. I can't, you know, really switch out on that. So I went straight for the Earthquake again, and he made the right decision, went to Talonflame, and from here, I was like, okay, I was ready to sack my Talonflame. That's fine. It did a good amount of damage. He has counters to it, but he actually U-turns there, which is huge. That's crazy. That's great in my advantage. So now Peckerhead's in. He can take out, or he can dish out some big damage now, and he goes into his Ferrothorn. And I had to think about this for a moment because I was like, well, I mean, obviously, if I hit it in any way, he has the Rocky Helmet, I'm going to die. I was thinking about saving my Talonflame and going into something else, but I was like, no, he's letting me take it out, so might as well just go ahead and take the kill. It's kind of the approach you have to have in Hyper Offense. And right there, you know, you have to kind of guess. And I'm like, well, if I go into my Excadrill, I'm in good shape, and I can just click Earthquake. The only thing that can come in, the only thing that would have countered me was maybe... No, there's nothing. I mean, Choice Scarf Diggersby because it can take a hit, I guess. But here I make a really aggressive double. If he would have gone for any attack, it would probably have been Earth Power. So I guess maybe it's not necessarily aggressive. He obviously has only one switch in, which is his Talonflame. So this gives me a huge advantage. And I went straight for the Thunderbolt. I didn't want to mess with anything. Obviously the Latias could have come out, or the Diggersby. But I went straight for the Thunderbolt, and he sacks off his Dancy, which is great. That's a huge problem. It's so hard to switch into that. Here, I don't have a switch in. What do you switch into a Diggersby? Huge power. Thing hits like a truck. And I went straight for the Focus Blast. Maybe I live it, maybe I don't. Hopefully I connect, and I do. Like, that's huge. His team is so crippled now. I think the 2 biggest threats are out of the way. And Talonflame comes in here. I mean, what do you switch into this? You don't. So I went straight for the Thunder Wave. I was like, okay, well, if he Brave Birds here, you know, Choice Banded sets, sometimes it runs Adamant. Maybe I can at least Thunder Wave it. Maybe I can get some hacks in my favor. I just felt like it was the best move in that situation. He actually went for the U-turn, so maybe if I did outspeed it, Thunderbolt would have been the right move. I guess he figured I was going to save the 7% on my Thunders. I'm not sure what for. But he U-turns into his Latias, and I'm like, this is perfect. Clefable can come out easy. I can take the hit. It did 49.5%. And I set up my Stealth Rocks because I really want to whittle down that Talonflame a little bit. And he goes straight for the Defog, which is probably his best move. But from here, I just soft boil up. I can win this stalling war. So I went ahead and put out my Stealth Rocks again. Basically, what he would have had to done is switch out on my rocks. And here he just goes straight for the Side Shock. I was just gonna recover off, get the Moonlight going, or sorry, not Moonlight, Soft Boiled. It's the same thing in my opinion. And he just opts for the kill. Obviously that was a roll. I clicked Moonblast there. Actually, I'm not sure. I think I might have clicked Soft Boiled. If he would have just let me stick around, then I would have eventually killed it. But now I can go to my extra drill fairly safely. I actually had to cut away there because there were people right outside my apartment. They were just making way too much noise. So I'm going to go back to turn 23. I'm not sure exactly where it started. I'll have to double check. But right here, I had set all my rocks, and right here I think I'm just soft boiling. I'm just kind of stalling him out. I obviously win this situation unless he has Roost. I guess we can just... It's whoever runs out of soft boils first, Roost first, in that situation. But he goes ahead and opts to kill me because he obviously realized that there's not a whole lot he can do about it. And from here, I can send out my Excadrill. If he goes into his Talonflame, that's fine, but I just want to make sure this Latias does not have a chance to defog. He can defog on my Keldeo or my Metagross, so this is what I did. He goes out into Talonflame, so that's fine. He's going to take 50% damage, and I'm going straight for the Earthquake here. And from here, I was like, okay, he's probably going for... I figured he was going for Brave Bird, and I wanted to at least save my health. I could come back in, I could drop a Rock Slide on his head and kill it. So I was going ahead and sack my Keldeo, and I was here. I was like, all right, he's gonna switch out. He's gonna go into his Latias. It walls it. He just apparently just stays in on Keldeo's. He doesn't mind stacking off, necessarily win cons. Maybe he could have pulled it off if he would have saved it, this Talonflame. But he just goes straight for it because obviously I can kill it right now with the Scald, which is what I'm going to do. And so moving forward from here, as long as I'm not missing missing Zen Headbutts, I'm not missing my Meteor Mash, I can win this game. The Rotom is at relatively low health. Right now. It's only at 53.5%, so it definitely is within range of that Zen Headbutt. He roosts up here, so he actually did have the roost, and I'm honestly just sacking off this Keldeo. Because I want to safe switch into my Metagross. I need to have it as healthy as possible. I'm not sure, I assume he has Direct Meteor, but he concedes here, basically, and he's just going to leave it up to the 90% chances. So in comes my Metagross right now. And... my key here is to go ahead and Mega Evolve. I don't need the agility because it should outspeed. And he decides to defog, even though he could have gotten up a relatively large hit on me. But I do actually get up the agility just because turn 1 I'm not going to outspeed the Latias, so I might as well. I get off the Meteor Mash, I do connect, kill the Latias, and this is what it really boils down to. Obviously he can Pain Split on me if he has me Will-O-Wisp. If I miss the Zen Headbutt, it's all coming down to the last move, and he just make it a kind of stall game. And he actually lives the Zen Headbutt, which is crazy. I thought, from that range, 50%, I guess he was fully defensive, and I just had to go for it. I had to keep going for the Zen Headbutts. I connect again. I'm getting lucky so far. He goes straight for the Hydro Pump. If he would have Will-O-Wisp me there, I think he can maybe pull it off if he just Pain Splits again, and then maybe I miss, I don't know, but I actually connect again on the Zen Headbutt, so that's going to be a win. I win first round, and we're going to go straight into the second round. This was against High on Tilt with a 0 for an O. I lead off with, actually, this is flipped around. I'm on the other side. I lead off with my Clefable, and I get off a... This is going too quickly. Let me slow that down. Okay, so my mindset is I lead off with Clefable here. I figured either the T-Tar or the Infernape. You see a lot of lead Infernapes. But he actually leads with his Thundurus. I wasn't sure what it was going to do, but I really did not want it setting up. So that's why I went straight for the Moonblast. I'm obviously not going to have my Rocks this game, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. He has a lot of resistance to Rock. Well, actually, most of his team takes 12%. And here, I go straight into my Peckerhead. I'm like, I'm not going to mess with this thing. But I know I can outspeed, so I went right ahead for the U-turn. I want to keep up momentum on my side. That does so much damage. Obviously, this is going to be a Bandit or Scarf T-Tar of some sort. It's not a defensive type. He obviously doesn't have investments. And I go straight into my Keldeo. And seeing here, I mean, he has a bunch of counters to this. Obviously, the Latias being the biggest one. And he's not going to go for a Stone Edge because... I mean, if anything, I figured, I guess, Earthquake, or I wasn't entirely sure what he was going to go for, but I make another aggressive double. This is what hyper offense is about. You have to make these aggressive doubles. And from here, I'm pretty sure I just U-turn again, which is going to do huge damage. It's not going to kill. Obviously, a Brave Bird, I think, kills. It depends how much investment he has, but just looking at that much damage, I went ahead and went for the U-turn. Brave Bird obviously would have killed. And I go into Excadrill. I felt like it was pretty safe here. I don't necessarily need my Excadrill. And he actually goes for the Healing Wish, which is crazy. He just went straight for it, and he's going to Healing Wish up his Thundurus. And this puts me in a situation because this thing can do a lot of damage to me. I went ahead, and I think I went for Rocks, or no, I went for Iron Head. I just wanted to get off some damage to it. I don't really have a switch in. It's mind games at that point. And I went straight for the Iron Head. Obviously, I have to... Okay, so if you actually see over here, I said that was a misclick. I clicked EQ, no lie. That actually happened. In my head, I was thinking, okay, in his Thundurus, what could he possibly switch in here? I was thinking, okay, so he's expecting the Rock Slide. I think Rock Slide is a 2-hit KO, and I'm not sure if he can kill me. If he can, then it's going to be a Focus Blast, and then he's obviously, playing around with that 70% chance to hit. So from there, I actually, in my head, I was like, what's his best play? I was thinking, what if I Earthquake here? That would be hugely aggressive. I'm locking myself in, but I thought he was going to switch out. Maybe he does go to his Jirachi, or maybe he goes to his Scizor. I was expecting one of those two. And he actually did go to his Jirachi, which would have been crazy. But then again, maybe it allows for his Thundurus to set up if he comes right back out. So I'm not entirely sure. I accidentally went. That was my mistake. I actually clicked back. So we're right back into it. And we're just going to go ahead. And obviously I can't stay in here. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out. And I didn't know really what to expect from this Jirachi. I saw the leftovers. So I went ahead and went to Peckerhead, my Talonflame, and he went ahead and set up his Stealth Rocks. So from here, I'm like, okay, well, he has his Rocks up. It's going to be hard to spin because he does have a relatively highly offensive team. I went straight for the Flare Blitz. It's a 2-hit KO on Tyranitar. I don't care what comes in. It's going to die. I was like, I need to get rid of this Jirachi. It's a huge problem, and I do. So that's huge, huge, huge. He goes right into his Tyranitar, and from here, I'm like, okay, well, I kind of do need this thing, so I decided to go ahead and switch out. Flare Blitz is going to be a 2-hit KO, but it's not going to do enough, and I'm not sure how much Pursuit would do to an uninvested Talonflame if he is Scarf, which I am assuming is what it was. So now I go ahead and go for a Rapid Spin. I felt like that was fairly safe because I didn't know what was going to come out. Excadrill is kind of walled by Scizor, so I went ahead and Rapid Spin. Maybe my Thundurus is going to take advantage of that. And from here, I'm like, okay, 29% from the Pursuit. I can live a Pursuit if I switch out because obviously he's going to do 58%. I almost died to it. So now I go into Keldeo, and from here I can go ahead and set up behind a Substitute, which is what I'm pretty sure I do here. He goes into his Thundurus. Yes. No. I go for the Calm Mind. And this is going to be huge here because from here I think I go ahead and set up for the substitute because I'm not sure. I probably should just pull up the calc and figure out how much it would take to kill this Thundurus, but it's kind of hard to know because bulky Thundurus is a spread, okay? It definitely is. So I went ahead and substitute, and for the next couple turns, I'm just going to go ahead and substitute so I can get him down to in range of 65. I mean, he was at 65% health. I was like, all right. From there, a Specs Keldeo can take him out. I went straight for it. This is, and then he goes into his Infernape, which doesn't win the speed tie. I'm not max speed, okay? You know, this is one of the few situations where the max speed does come into play. That and against other Keldeos, but it is a speed tie either way. So from here, I just went ahead and went for the Yellow Magic. Fire Blast cannot take me out because I thought he was going to switch in Tyranitar, honestly. So that's why I went straight for the Thunderbolt, because it does take a hit or two, and he can go ahead and kill from there. But from here, it's looking like I really kind of need this Thundurus. That, or I need to get lucky. And right now, luck is kind of on my side. I get a Thunder Wave paralyzed, and right now I go straight for the Focus Blast, and I connect. That's huge. I can't believe that just happened. Because now I can paralyze the Scizor and really, you know, just wall this thing. He kind of set himself up in a really good opportunity to win, and it was just paras. As you see, he gets parried again. It's kind of it's unfortunate for my opponent, but I'm not gonna complain because I've been hacked all the time. And from here, I was like, okay, Excadrill dies, and doesn't really do that much damage. So I was like, if he's gonna sit there and roost on me, I might as well go into my Metagross and just get off Meteor Mashes, trying to get the boost, and he gets paralyzed again. That was a last ditch bullet punch. He would have had to like crit me like 10 times over. So I end up getting the win. So that's the second round. I'm moving on to the third round now. And we're going to go ahead and get this going. Once again, I'm on the opposite side of the field. I went straight to my Clefable. It's just the easiest lead with this team. And I know I can't... Well, actually, I think I can 2-hit KO it, but with that... the healing with... the Toxic Orb. The Poison Heal. With Poison Heal, it's really hard to get past that Gliscor. So I went straight into my... Thundurus, because I knew that could threaten, and I went straight for the Thunderbolt. I knew no way he sacks his Gliscor turn 1 or turn 3, whatever. And then he goes into it the following turn. I guess he figured I didn't have Hidden Power Ice. Just so you know, pretty much every Thundurus in the world runs Hidden Power Ice. You can't not run it. And I go ahead and fire off a Thunderbolt. That is my main check to this Rotom Wash. Obviously, he has Will-O-Wisp here. He's just going to do residual damage, but he was expecting a switch, which is fine. I'm not going to switch out. I'm just going to stay in on my Thunderbolt. I used to have Taunt on this Thundurus, specifically for Rotom. Like, that was one of the reasons why, because I didn't want him to Will-O-Wisp. I didn't want him to Pain Split. But he goes ahead and saves his Rotom Wash, and I just go ahead and fire off Thunderbolts. I don't have a reason not to. I para him there. And I'm like, okay, well, now he's absolutely going for the Sucker Punch. I have the #1 counter. I have Keldeo. This is a free switch in, and I can just gain more and more momentum, give myself the best opportunity to win this game. And from here, I think I expected him going into the Rotom Wash, so I went ahead and set up a substitute, but he went straight into the Gardevoir. I can 2-hit KO this thing if I get the burn. Actually, he has the bulk, so maybe that was not the worst play on his part. Apparently, he knew that I didn't have Hydro Pump. He knew that I was going to set up a substitute or something. I'm not sure. But right here, I can just go straight for the Earthquake. That was the damage I needed, because now Phil can just he can just sweep in the end, because there's nothing that can take these Earthquakes. Gardevoir was the only thing left on his team that could take the hit, and I didn't want to mess with having to go for Iron Head and Rotom Wash coming out, and then I'm having to switch around. So this game is going to end rather quickly. Turn 14, he gets parried. I'm getting all the paras today, so maybe that's the reason why I'm winning. But that is the third round of the tournament. Big shout out to these guys so far. They've been good sports, and I'm going to go straight into the final game. I go ahead and lead with my Clefable, as you could have guessed, and from here, he leads with his this is actually the semifinal, by the way. So the winner of this goes to the finals. this guy was taking forever, so I was really afraid of a really stally team. So I was like, I need to get my rocks. He has no hazard control. I went ahead and did that. Keldeo's a pretty safe switch in here, and I didn't know what he was going to do, so I just went straight for the Scald. It can get damage off on the switch in if it is a Venusaur, but he actually goes for the Toxic. He's very obviously well invested in this Heatran, and I knew he was going to protect here. He should protect in the first turn, because that's what players will do if they have protect. They use it every time they can. So from here, I can go straight for the Secret Sword. It will do super effective damage, and I think it will take out that Heatran, and it'll hit anything hard that comes in. Obviously, Rotom Wash is the most expendable, well, not most expendable member, but it can take hits for him. So that's the thing that he goes into. I go for Secret Sword. Maybe I could have gone for the Scald and burned it, but that's just the way that this game goes. He goes into Venusaur. Obviously, this thing completely walls me. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out. I go to my Excadrill. I wasn't expecting a Giga Drain turn 1. I was expecting maybe a Sludge Bomb because I have good switch-ins for a Giga Drain. So I went straight out. I wanted to get rid of these rocks. I felt like it was really important in this game because I felt like Talonflame was going to do huge work, especially now that the Rotom was really whittled down, and so was the Heatran. So that's my win con at the moment. I go straight into my Pekka here because I felt like it was relatively safe. And from here he goes into his Heatran, and I U-turn out. I was expecting him to go into his Landers, honestly. I knew I couldn't 2-hit KO it after the Intimidate. And from here I'm pretty sure I just click Earthquake. I'm trying to get rid of his Mons. I'm trying to do the most damage possible. And he goes into this fat thing, and that thing takes that damage so well. I go straight out into my Talonflame. I'm expecting the Synthesis, but he actually pulls the double here. That was a very aggressive double, which is fine by me, because right now I can 2-hit KO this thing, which very obviously, it was almost a roll, and he goes for the Lava Plume. I guess expecting my Excadrill to come back out. I'm not entirely sure, or maybe my Keldeo. But I'm just going to go straight for the kill. And that's great because Stealth Rocks are not going to be up this game. So that makes me think, alright, this is Scarflanders in the back. I don't know why he went to his Rotom here. This was just a sack. There's no way he's going to live a Brave Bird. I don't even think Banded, like, it didn't have to be Banded. But now he goes into his Landers. And I'm like, alright, this thing's 100% Scarf. I want to keep my Talonflame healthy. I can just, finish up the game at the end with that. He went straight for the knockoff, which is fine. At this point, I'm kind of sacking my Excadrill because, it doesn't do a whole lot more. I have Metagross in the back for the Clefable if I really need it. He's locked in to knockoff, so I'm like, this is a pretty easy situation to go straight into my Clefable. And I didn't want to risk him pulling an aggressive double or going to his own Clefable, so I went straight for the Moonblast, and from here, I'm like, okay, I knew he was going to go into his Venusaur. I absolutely knew it, but I felt it was like a pretty safe play to go for the Moonblast. And from here, he actually lets me take out his Venusaur. Maybe he was expecting the double, but I'm just firing off Brave Birds. I'm trying to, put the biggest dents into his team. And from here, I just sack off my Keldeo. That's fine. If you went for the Stone Edge there, that's totally fine. And from here, I'm like, okay, he's going to 100% switch out. So I go to my Thundurus, and I can just get off a huge hit. I was expecting the Clefable, but he went ahead and went into this thing. And I'm like, all right, he's probably going to double. Worst to worst, I can go to my Clefable because it 100% walls this thing. And he actually goes for the knockoff. I know I can live another one, so I went straight for the soft boiled. Why not keep this thing around? If he crit me, obviously he was going to kill me. But I went for the soft boiled, get my health back up, because then I could, fire off more hits. I have no idea what that Clefable is in the back, but that's why I have Metagross. He can, take care of that. And from here, I'm like, well, I can take an Earthquake, so I might as well whittle this thing down. I went straight for the Moonblast. I have no reason to switch out, because, what does he go for there? Like, what, do I switch into my Talonflame and he Stone Edges? I'm screwed. Or he knocks off. I don't know what's going to go on. So I went straight for the Moonblast here. I wasn't sure what he was going to do. And it actually turns out he's a Life Orb variant as well. So this is perfect for me. Because, was he? Okay, so he can Soft Boil, but, worse. I'm not going to switch out 100%. I'm just saying. And turns out we Speed Tie. Which is, alright, this is crazy, because, if you look at this, you have 10 speed invest, because obviously he didn't get faster there. I went first the first 2 times, but apparently he has the exact same, and then he says that he has 156 speed. I don't know why he's lying or something. There, I missed. I was so scared. I was like, oh no, here comes a T-Wave. But no, he actually just goes for the Fire Blast. And that's just Metagross for you. Life Orb, Fire Blast from a Clefable, I'm assuming it was a modest hit. I mean, that should do, that should knock out most steel types, but Metagross is just so bulky. And from here, he's locked in a knockoff. I know I can take the hit. Even a crit wouldn't have done anything. So I can go ahead and click HPIs, and that's going to be a good game. And so guess who is going to the finals? It's your boy. All right, so here's the final game. It's against Kayuzanga, and for some reason it allowed him to scout. Like, he was there watching my game, waiting for it to end. And right now I go straight for the flamethrower. I'm gonna pause it real quick. Okay, sorry about that. We're back. I went straight for the flamethrower because I wanted to get. Okay, we are back, and I go straight for the flamethrower here. I'm not sure how much it's going to do, but it's going to do around 50, like, honestly. Actually, it's more like 60-70%, because I get a crit there, which is amazing. I wanted to get some damage off on that thing, and right then I was like, okay, well, he can't really touch me, so I'm going to go ahead and set up my rocks. This is a good opportunity, too. And I didn't really see that Landorus as a threat, so I went straight for the Moonblast. Why not? Get some huge damage off on it. I'm assuming that was a Scarf, and he just goes ahead and sacks his Clefty, which is totally fine. And now he goes right back out into it. I wasn't sure if he wanted to keep up momentum, what he was going to do, but I figured, I bet you he's going to go for either U-turn or Earthquake. And so that felt like a pretty safe, it is an aggressive switch, but I saw the leftovers. I know I can outspeed. And right here I go for the HPS. Not sure why Manectric isn't switching, but he goes to it, and this is a free kill because Focus Blast is going to kill from here. As long as I hit, I'm not losing a whole lot. He can't one-shot me with any one move. Now he goes into his Garchomp. I have no idea why. So this is like, alright, he's 100% Scarf. I go into my Clefable. This is awesome. Maybe he was setting up his rocks, but I saw the leftovers on the Landorus, so that's a huge. All right, so if that's something that you guys need to realize is if you are sitting there, you don't know why he goes into a Garchomp, like he's baiting my HPIs. I don't know what his set is. Most sets run Rocky Helmet, so he's going off of that surprise factor. Maybe if he goes off, if Landorus hadn't come out yet, I have no idea. Okay, but I had seen the leftovers on the Landorus, and I'm like, this is 100% Scarf. I go in with my Clefable, because it's obviously immune to it, and now I can fire off a Moonblast. And from here, I think he sets up his rocks, and he's just going to go ahead and let this thing go down, which is fine by me, because that opens a huge door up for my Talonflame. Like, it's looking like Talonflame can just clean up from here. He goes into his Starmie, and I wasn't sure what he was going to do, but I figured he was going to Rapid Spin, because he has the Talonflame in the back. And this is a very aggressive double, but he actually goes for the Side Shock. And from here, I'm like, this is fine. I'm going to Rapid Spin. I don't care about the Excadrill. It doesn't do a whole lot more for me. And he goes straight for the kill. So right now, we are in a huge advantage. And it's honestly looking like it's going to be a wrap here. I'm going to go ahead and Brave Bird here. Just knock out the Starmie. If the Talonflame came in, it was going to die. If the Garchomp came in, it was a 2-hit KO. So from here, I'm like, I want to save my Talonflame. He's obviously going for the Dragon Claw again. He has to be Scarf. I'm just making the aggressive doubles. He's not Scarfed, by the way, which is crazy. He basically was, baiting me. All right, so earlier he switched into my Garchomp on the Thundurus, okay, baiting me to go for the HPIs. If I go for the HPIs there, I'm pretty sure it dies. Maybe actually, you know what it was probably? It was probably Yachi Berry. That's got to be what it is. So now I can just go straight for the Moonblast. He's roosting up. I have no idea what his set is, but I'm assuming, since I'm not seeing leftovers, it's probably Sharp Beak or something. So here he's just roosting. He actually goes for the Brave Bird right there. He gets a crit. It's not going to really matter. This game is pretty much wrapped up at this point. I'm just going to go for the T-Wave, I think. Yeah, so I 100% know that my Talonflame in the back will outspeed. So this is game. He actually... I'm not sure what he went for there. Flare Blitz, maybe? But we go for the T-Bolt, we win. And that's going to be a good game. That is the tournament. We won. So cue the music. We are the champions. But either way, I hope you guys like this. This is my more competitive side of Pokemon. I'll definitely be putting up more tournament gameplays to show that I can win games. Even though if I am in a live comm and I necessarily don't win them all, I'm using, unique sets. I harp on this all the time. I don't necessarily use the same set that everybody uses every single time. I find it boring. It's whatever. So if you guys did like this video, go ahead and give me the love. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into these videos. shout outs to all the small YouTubers out there. Keep grinding, guys, because it'll pay off in the end. I have faith. But if you guys did like, then subscribe up, because there's gonna be more of this coming out. And I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. This was Trep, and this was some tournament gameplay. We are the champions. We won. This is your boy. We are the best. We are the kings. We the king. We the king. We run this. All right. So I'll check you guys later.